that the high priest, the Kohen Gadol, would go into the Holy of Holies and essentially almost hotbox it, to use that.
Is that definite? Meaning, is that conclusive? I know Rabbi Harry has
That's right. Rabbi Harry Rosenberg, good friend of mine. He's the expert on this stuff and on DMT in particular.
But is that an accepted perspective?
Oh, yeah, it's 100%, yes.
The Kohen Gadol is getting high, is taking hallucinogens when it's a Torah prohibition to such an extent that if the Kohen Gadol ever had a foreign thought, he would die on the spot in the Kodesh Kodeshim. And you're telling me that he's using the Torah to get high? This is a person that wants to create a new Torah. U'oved alechem. He's fooling you. Do you understand?
The Torah never speaks of an eternal Gehinnom because it doesn't exist. It doesn't exist. So there's nothing you can do to merit eternal damnation. It makes no sense.
Oh, I was waiting for this, of course. What are some of the examples that Efraim Palvanov said heresy? Okay. I'm not going to go with every single thing like we did with the other Reshaim because I said it in the beginning, I don't have the time nor the patience. But if you look at the comments on the video that I've made, over there, people, some of them agreed, some of them were, going against me as if I have some personal interest or benefit in exposing wicked people. Aside from a headache, there's nothing good that you get out of it. Literally. It's a big nightmare, but you do it because you want to help people that don't understand that they're in trouble. Don't understand that they're listening to heresy. Don't understand that they are going against HaShem. So that's why we do it. And as far as Lashon Hara is concerned, if you look at the Ilchot Lashon Hara of the Chofetz Chaim, chapter 8, section 5, also section 4, several of them, talks about when it comes to heresy, it's a mitzvah to expose heretics. There's no din of Lashon Hara whatsoever. Furthermore, we have been following this heretic for a couple of years already. This is not something we discovered a week ago. We stayed quiet about it for a long time because I don't just make a video about every heretic that comes to my attention. It goes through a process, research, confirmation, sometimes contact, sometimes other types of investigations, and ultimately I always have to get the approval of our Av Bedin, or Rav Ephraim Kachlon, that not only can I expose this person, but I have to, meaning it's an obligation for the sake of helping people. So with this particular guy, it was going on already for a couple of years. Now, as I said, every one of his lectures is full of heresy, but if you're not well versed in Torah, you will not know it because he makes everything look legit by putting sources on the screen, just like Rav Aharon Feldman, Shichyeh, said in his video against Efraim Palvanov. He did a research of his own. He reviewed a bunch of videos. He reviewed a bunch of audios. He reviewed a bunch of different things on his own. And he came to the conclusion, and he even gave more details than I did, that Efraim Palvanov is a heretic. He's Megaleh Panim B'Torah. Megaleh Panim B'Torah, by the way, is worse than just a simple heretic. People said, oh no, but you didn't call him a heretic. Yeah, he said Megaleh Panim B'Torah. Megaleh Panim B'Torah is the worst type of heretic.
So he's just a Megaleh Panim B'Torah Shleik Halacha. He's just a Megaleh Panim B'Torah Shleik Halacha. He just uses the sources of the Torah to conclude things which are not up Halacha.
It's the heretic that loses his Olam Haba. It's a heretic that at the time of Moshe Rabbeinu would get death penalty. It's the worst of the worst. So the Gadol Ador in America and around the world, he's the head of the there's an organization that's for the Torah sages. He's the head. He's the chief. Rav Aharon Feldman. If you don't know who he is, then I don't know. Get out of the rock that you're living in. He is the authority, especially outside of Israel. Anywhere outside of Israel, you ask Torah community, do they know who Rav Aharon Feldman is? Anyone that knows anything about Torah knows who he is. He's the head, he's the chief. He literally, miraculously, made a video about this. And, because it came to his attention, and obviously he understood that this needs to be publicized. And he calls Efraim Palvanov a worse type of heretic. And he gave examples that you could see and you could watch, that Efraim Palvanov says. If, some people tell me, I watch all of his lectures, but I don't remember him ever saying this stuff. That's because you either don't remember or you're not well versed enough in Torah to know that what you're hearing is heresy, because he gives you the illusion that the source that he presents agrees with the conclusion that he tells you. And it's the exact opposite. He gives you a source to make you think that the conclusion is what he says, but it's not. To give you an example, he says that Gehinnom is 12 months because Resh Lakish said it. But anyone that studies Gemara, anyone that studies Torah in general, and has studied that particular topic, knows not only that there are many sources, literally thousands and thousands of sources, that speak about Gehinnom being eternal, those sources in the Chumash, that's where Korach is until this day. The stores is in the prophets, like Isaiah. Look at the last verse. The sources are in the Mishnah, in the Shulchan Aruch, in the Gemara, in the Zohar. It's everywhere, including Resh Lakish himself saying in a different Gemara that it's eternal. So how come in one place he says it's 12 months, another place he says it's eternal? Because there are two different types of sinners. There's a sinner that's called Israel, meaning he's a sinner, but he still keeps the Torah and Mitzvot, he still keeps Shabbat, he still is not a heretic, he's still not committing sins that would remove him from being part of Am Yisrael. So he's still Israel, but so therefore his sentence can be maximum of 12 months for whatever sins he's made. But then there are people that have removed themselves from Israel, such as a person that died a Mechalel Shabbat, or he died a heretic, or he died a idol worshiper, or adulterer, or different things that have remove a person from Klal Israel, and they lose their Olam Haba, which includes wasting seed, by the way. Not, they still part of Israel, but they lose Olam Haba. But nonetheless, those people are not part of Israel. Now, Efraim Palvanov doesn't say that. In fact, what he says is that anyone that tells you that God punishes for more than 12 months that means God is evil. This is literally his words.
To believe in eternal damnation is to believe in an evil God. There's no other way to get around it. There's no other way. Because that implies that God wanted you, and not just you, but millions of other people, to spend eternity in torment and torture and fire and sulfur and brimstone. Why? It makes no sense.
It's literally his words. Now, I know you guys want me to make videos with taking little segments of his heresy and put it in there and show you that he says this and show you that he says that. And we've done that for other heretics in the past. I honestly just don't want to waste the time or the mental energy on doing that for a couple of reasons. Number one, it's because I know that for the people that listen to the truth and are looking for the truth, they don't need it. They don't need to see. If you think that I'm a liar, then don't listen to me. If you think I'm making this stuff up, then why are you listening to me? But if you think I'm telling you the truth, then that's enough. Even if you don't think you don't want to take my word for it, you think that Rav Aharon Feldman, the Gadol Ador, 93-year-old Torah sage, he has nothing better to do than to make a video about some punk that calls himself a scholar? Like, you think that Rav Aharon Feldman doesn't know the laws of Lashon Hara, the laws of heresy? You think you could just fool the Gadol Ador? You could just fool the biggest rabbi, one of the biggest rabbis in the world? You can just fool him? People really don't understand what a Torah scholar is. You don't understand that his mind, at his age, is sharper than anybody else you meet or have ever met or ever will meet. at this age, sharper. His body may be frail and old, but his mind is sharper than the most sharp thing that you can imagine. Baruch Hashem, I've had the privilege of speaking to him, and I can assure you, you don't understand what a Torah scholar is until you speak to them. And in this particular case, Rav Aharon Feldman concluded this guy's a heretic of the worst kind. So even if you don't want to believe me, he said it. Rav Aharon Feldman said it. That's more than enough. I could say it 1,000 times, and it's not equal to one time that Rav Aharon Feldman concluded it. He is the Beit Din. He is the authority. He is the Torah sage. He said it. Now, so for those of you that are normal, this would be sufficient. For those that are simply glued to heresy and do not want to see the truth, that even if I provide you the clips, it won't be enough for you. Because I know this from experience when we did it with Manis Friedman, where we brought the clips of him saying things that are against the Torah, and people say, well, why don't you show us the whole video? And then we could judge for ourselves. What do you mean? Then it's not a clip anymore. Then I'm not going to add me saying 2 words and then him talking for 2 hours just in hopes that you will get those 30 seconds that I'm referring to. So people that don't want to see the truth, even if the truth gets thrown at them, it won't matter. It won't help. Anyone that wants to learn, for example, about the topic of wasting seed, we have a film called Tikkun Abrit. In there are 116 sources. 116 sources from across the spectrum of the Torah. Any one of those sources will show you that the article and the lectures that Efraim Palvanov made about the topic are heretical, are against the Torah, are stupid, are a lie, are a manipulation. Same thing goes with Gehinnom. We have a film with 172 Torah sources from Shulchan Aruch, from Mishnah, from the Zohar, from including Resh Lakish, like literally 172 sources. So you say, oh, but the Gemara Masechet Rosh Hashanah, page 16b says 12 months. Yeah, move another half a daf, 17a, and you'll see eternity. Like, if you're just going to pick one word out of a whole book, you can arrive at any word. But if you read the whole topic and understand the topic in a comprehensive manner, the way the Torah is learned, then you realize that, just like the Gemara in the Talmud Yerushalmi says, in Masechet Peah, we don't learn anything from just one source. We have to learn the entire source from different places. Masechet Shabbat, Masechet Brachot, Masechet Avodah Zarah, the Yerushalmi, the Bavli. Now this guy presents himself as if he is a learned person, as if he knows Kabbalah. He doesn't know Kabbalah. He doesn't know Torah. He doesn't know anything. But for the majority of people that are ignorant of what Torah really is, that are watching him, it sounds like he's a very, very knowledgeable person until you see what he says and compare it to the real sources, compare it to the real conclusions. I'll give you another example. In one of his recent videos, he has the audacity to say that Avraham Avinu failed, or may have failed, but I think he said he failed his test with Akeidah Yitzchak.
If I tell Avraham to sacrifice his child, will he realize that that's wrong and say, no, I'm not going to do it? And so he failed in that regard, because he should have said no. This is not right. This is immoral. That was the nature of the test. He should have said no. And that's the proper way to interpret the Akeidah, and I'll tell you why. And again, a lot of people, when I said it last time, a lot of people got upset and said, you're crazy, what are you talking about? I'll tell you why we have to interpret it this way.
Now, what sage has ever said that? I'll give you the answer. No one. No sage has ever said that. Why would no sage ever agree with Efraim Palvanov's conclusion that Avraham Avinu failed? Because the Mishnah in Masechet Avot, chapter 5, I believe it's Mishnah number 2 or 3, let's see. Says the exact opposite. עשרה ניסיונות נדסה אברהם אבינו ועמד. Our forefather Avraham was tested with 10 trials, and he withstood them all, to show the degree of our forefather Avraham's love for God. So the Mishnah, this is the authority of authorities, concludes Avraham passed his test. Now, if that's not enough for someone that has a heart of stone, go to Avot Rabbi Natan. Avot Rabbi Natan, also, you will find the same thing, but even more elaborate version. Avot Rabbi Natan, chapter 33, Bereta number 2. Our forefather Avraham was tested with 10 trials before the Holy One, blessed is he. And in all of them he was found to be whole, meaning he passed all the tests. And in case you say, well, which tests are they? Maybe it's not considered the Akeidah Yitzchak. So the Bereta elaborates. These are the 10 trials. 2 are associated with God's instruction to him. Go for yourself from your land to the land that I will show you, this Parashat Lech Lecha. 2 with his sons. This is with the Ishmael and with the Akeidah. Akeidah Yitzchak. The Palvanov, the heretic, said Avraham Avinu failed the test. And then it continues with his wives and with the 4 kings and so on. The point, Rabotai, as we say in Hebrew, Oved alechem. He's fooling you. He's fooling you. In so many words, he shows you, here, this is the source. And he tells you this is what it means. It's black. No, but it says white. No, don't believe what you're seeing. It's black. He tells you a source, but he gives you the wrong conclusion. He gives you his own conclusion. If he gives you the conclusion that the sages have concluded, no problem, but he doesn't. Furthermore, the guy does not believe that the oral Torah is authoritative. He doesn't believe in the following the Shulchan Aruch. He thinks the Mishnah Berurah is a different religion. He hates Torah scholars and the Haredi world. In fact, something came to my attention in the last 24 hours. This young woman, I believe, if I remember correctly, her name is Jules. She took him to school. Jules took Efraim Palvanov to school. She got a hold of one of his videos that he's in a podcast with some drug addict, drug dealer guy, where he is saying, Palvanov is saying, that the Ktoret, that the Kohen Gadol, the holiest man of Am Yisrael, was used to get high. Because his scientific background tells him that each one of these chemicals that are used is something as a hallucinogen. Now, first of all, I can tell you, his background is complete nonsense. He's not a scientist. Maybe he can write the word scientist.
And if you look at the ingredients there, first of all, as Rabbi Harry points out, the coals were atzei shitim. And atzei shitim are actually, acacia wood has a very high amount of DMT in it. So there's definitely something to it. Right? This ketoret did for sure have psychoactive properties.
Is that definite? Meaning, is that conclusive? I know Rabbi Harry has a...
That's right. Rabbi Harry Rosenberg, good friend of mine. He's the expert on this stuff and on DMT in particular.
But is that an accepted perspective?
Oh, yeah, it's 100%, yes.
The guy doesn't know what he's talking about, but he knows how to present things in a way that has such confidence, that has so much fluff, that you believe it's true, unless you're educated about the matter. So this young woman took what he said scientifically and proved how every single word that he said is a lie. Like, literally, it's mind-boggling how much nonsense comes out of his mouth.
That the high priest, the Kohen Gadol, would go into the Holy of Holies and essentially almost hotbox it, to use that, and it would fill the room with smoke. And then our sages describe how he would see a vision of God, of angels, and things like that.
The Kohen Gadol is getting high is taking hallucinogens when it's a Torah prohibition to such an extent that if the Kohen Gadol ever had a foreign thought, he would die on the spot in the Kodesh Kodashim. And you're telling me that he's using the Torah to get high? This is a person that wants to create a new Torah. U'oved alechem. He's fooling you. Do you understand? He tells you Avraham Avinu is flawed. He failed the test of Akeidah Yitzchak. Even though every Yom Kippur we all cry and beg HaShem to give us another chance because of Avraham Avinu's merit. He has said in many of his lectures things that are completely against the world of Torah. And if that's not enough, there's a channel called Efraim Palvanov that there is a few recordings on there that he was recorded in a conversation, a dialogue with someone where literally, if you listen to what he's saying and you understand what halacha is versus what nonsense heresy is, it's clear heresy.
So that's why I'll share with you a list of what you should read. Again, I'm warning you if you're going to go down this path. But if you're serious about truth, then read those books, and then slowly you'll start to understand. I'll give you a few to start with, and we can go from there. Anything after the Rambam is essentially a stringency. Again, you can disagree with the Rambam, fine. I disagree with him too sometimes. I don't agree with everything absolutely he says. You think that everybody should keep halacha. Well, which halacha? You want people to keep Mishnah Torah or Mishnah Brura? Because these are two different religions, completely different religions. You look at Mishnah Torah and you look at Mishnah Brura, these are two completely different things. They have almost nothing to do with each other. So which halacha exactly are you referring to? Because the Mishnah Torah is, today the Rambam would be considered a heretic, a reformed Jew.
I have no idea what you're talking about, and I don't even know if you read my article. I quoted Sefer Hasidim, and I clearly said there that he says masturbation's prohibited. I made that emphatically, explicitly clear. So I don't know where you're getting, I don't know why you're twisting my words. I don't know what you read. It makes no sense what you're saying. And again, I quoted the Rambam as well as saying very clearly that it's prohibited. So I have no clue what you're talking about. Maybe you should read my article again.
And if you go into the description over there, there's also like a PDF of different things that he has said, that he says. The point I'm trying to tell you is, for any Torah scholar, for any person that's knowledgeable in Torah, all you need is 5 minutes, if that much, to know that what he says is nonsense. 6 minutes to know that it's heresy. 7 minutes that he's dangerous, because he's doing it intentionally. And then you can just simply gather as much evidence as you want, but it's to no end. But to a person that either is too ignorant or doesn't want this dream to be false, doesn't want their idol to be really a villain, nothing that anyone will ever say will be enough. Rav Aharon Feldman, the leader of Torah, says something, anyone that has a little bit of understanding of Torah immediately says, I don't even care to ever see evidence. That's enough. But for people that want evidence, like I told you, you can find it. It's there. But you need to know what the truth looks like, what the truth sounds like, in order to know how to identify falsehood. That's why, for example, in the U.S. monetary system, when they train people to work to identify fake money, what do they teach them? They don't teach them a different type of fake money. They teach them what the true money looks like, what real money looks like. So you become so familiar with the truth that it's easy for you to find anything that steers from the truth. If you don't know what the truth looks like, if you don't know what the truth sounds like, then whatever Efraim Palvanov or any other heretic will say will sound like the truth, if it's said in a way that's appealing to you. So I already knew he's a heretic over 2 years ago. I didn't need 2 years to publicize it. I needed permission. Took 2 years to get permission. Not because it wasn't clear 2 years ago, but rather because it wasn't necessary. until now. But even now, I'm not being told to make a million videos about it, and quite frankly, I wasn't even planning on talking about it now. But since people are not getting it, they're not understanding it, this is not there is no benefit. I don't even understand when people say, oh, you're doing it because you want views. What views? What do I care about views? I don't understand. Oh, you want, I don't know. What benefit can you possibly have out of exposing bad people? I don't understand how there's ever anybody thinks there's a benefit out of it. It's literally a headache of all headaches. Look at the comments. All of his victims are cursing me and thinking that I'm like the biggest villain in the world. What benefit is there? What benefit is there? I'm not here to save those people that are glued to the tum'ah and will deny the truth even if it punches them in the face. They're a lost cause. This message is for people that are simply on the line, that almost have fallen into it. Those are the people that are savable. Everybody that's over there too far, there's nothing you can do. You could show, Moshe Rabbeinu himself can come and tell you Efraim Palvanov and Manis Friedman and all the other heretics are heretics and they're bad, and they'll still go with them. With Korach and Adato. They'll still go with them. Why? They're glued to the tumah. They're glued to the filth. They'll say, no, you're the bad guy. That's what the followers of Korach said. They said to Moshe, you're the bad guy. But the problem is, Rabotai, anyone that understands Torah understands very quickly that this is bad. You don't want to listen. Suit yourself. Suit yourself. Do what you want to do. It's not unfortunately the type of world where, we have leadership and authority that we can force people to do anything like they did at the time of Moshe Rabbeinu, the Sanhedrin. People can do whatever they want. You want to go listen to heretics? You want to go listen to idol worshippers? You want to go listen to liars? You want to be lied to? You want to feel good about it? Feel like you're smarter? Go, do what you want. You want evidence? I provided you some. I provide you sources for some more. There's plenty out there. But again, like I said, if you don't know what the truth looks like, then you won't understand. You won't understand what a lie looks like. And for anyone that understands what Torah scholars are, what Torah is, everything that I said is not necessary. Why? Rav Aharon Feldman said it. That's it. That's the end. That's enough. Enough said. If you don't know what Torah is, then you'll say, "No, what does he know? Why should I listen to him?" All types of stupid things that people say. Do what you want. You've been warned. I did my job. I'm finished. I'm done. Now, your blood is in your hands.